Today I wanted to talk to you about how to overcome imposter syndrome as a new transaction coordinator. Because the number one reason new transaction coordinators struggle isn't the lack of skills, it's how they answer questions. The problems are not with the contracts or the softwares, problem is with the questions. The wrong answers make you sound like a rookie, even if you are fully capable. Now, the right answer, it makes you sound confident, professional, and ready for business even on day one. And today, I'm giving you word by word examples you can use to flip those uncomfortable questions into opportunities that make you look credible, prepared, and in control. Plus, I explain the why behind each response so you not only know what to say, but you understand how to use it strategically to build trust and authority. So let's discuss the imposter syndrome, because this is powerful. For new TCs, it usually shows up in sweaty palms, during discovery calls, or overthinking after every email, or dreading that an agent is going to ask a question you are not ready to answer, especially if you are in a networking event. When you don't have many clients yet or any at all, it's easy to feel like you are pretending. You think, if they ask me how many transactions I've closed, they will know I'm new. If they ask for references, I don't have an agent ready to vouch for me. And here's the kicker. Most agents don't even ask these questions the way you think they will. In my own business, I can't really remember the last time anyone asked me how many transactions I've closed. I wouldn't answer it anyway, because that's my internal metric, not something I share with clients. I don't disclose my revenue, my client count, my transaction volume. Those are private, at least in my opinion and the way that I manage my business. But if someone did ask, I already know exactly how to handle it without sounding defensive or insecure. That's the difference between feeling like an imposter and presenting yourself as a professional. Preparation is key. If you don't have your answers ready, you stumble, you look uncertain, and you actually feed the very imposter syndrome you're trying to overcome. But if you prepare, you redirect the conversation to what matters, and suddenly you are the one leading. So let's review some examples so you can have some tools and ideas to apply to your own situation. For example, how many transactions have you closed? My answer will be, I normally don't offer insights about my business or clients or revenue, but I can definitely tell you this. I have the systems in place to manage up to 100 transactions per month, and I currently haven't hit capacity, so I am accepting new agents. Of course, you would replace the 100 transactions per month for 10, 20, 50, whatever is your number. So you have taken a question again about your past and reframe it to highlight your present capacity. The agent stops caring about history because they are assured you can handle the workload right now. And if that feels like a line you can use on your next call, that's your reminder to like and subscribe. Now, another question might be, how many years of experience do you have? The reason why they ask is because years equals trust, at least in their mind. They want reassurance that you are not brand new to professional work. So you can combine your professional background with the training and system you put in place, and then emphasize your readiness to serve as a TC. So I've been working in customer service and admin roles for so many years that, of course, I gather really good organization, communication, and managing deadlines skills. And now these skills, in combination with a specific training I took to become a TC and all the systems that I already implemented in my new business, I am super ready for this new role in my career. So why this answer worked? Well, you are showing that your past experience gave you the foundation, your training gave you the tools, and now you're launching with confidence. It reassures the agent that even if you are new to TC, you are not new to professionalism and reliable systems. You are launching a business. Now, another question is, are you licensed? Licensing determines what task you can legally do. So agents don't want to risk being no compliant, so they have the right to know. The problem is that many new TCs panic if they are unlicensed, thinking that it will disqualify them, and it doesn't. You just need to be clear. So a better approach is to be transparent. State your scope and reassure them that you know the rules. So an answer can be like, no, I am not licensed. I only offer services that fall under what unlicensed assistants are allowed to do. So I focus exclusively on compliance, communication, and transaction management, so everything runs smoothly and by the book. So that answers their concern directly while showing that you know the boundaries. So the agent feels safe knowing that you're not going to overstep. Now, another question is, do you have professional references? And obviously, the agent is going to look for credibility from someone outside of you. So references reduce the risk. So the problem is that new TCs think that references might be other agents. But that's not true. Any credible professional can vouch for your work ethic. Be cheerful, agree immediately, and provide them. And don't over-explain. So your answer can be something like, yes, absolutely, I'll be happy to share references. What's the best email or number for me to send them to you? So this works because it's simple, confident, and leaves no room for doubt. Another question is, how much do you charge? And everyone is going to ask you that. So that for sure you need to be ready for. They want to know if you fit their budget. It's normal. But the real question is whether you are a commodity or a partner. The problem here is that if you just state a number, you are reduced to a line item. They compare you to every other TC charging roughly the same, and you lose leverage. So a better approach is to turn it into a conversation about their needs. Then tie your price to the value that you deliver. An answer might be, I offer a couple of different options depending on what you need. Can you tell me a little bit more about the type of support you're looking for? So this answer works better than I charge $350 because you are asking first, listening second, and answering last. So that positions you as the leader in the conversation. You are no longer just a number, you are a solution tailored to them. And when you finally share your price, it feels justified, no arbitrary. And by the way, if you're trying to launch your business, I do have a free class for you. 3 principles to launch your TC business without endless research. The link is going to be included below. It's free, and I'm pretty sure it's going to give you a lot of value. Also, if you are ready to take the leap, consider my transaction coordination course. The information will also be included below. So another question that you might be hoping they never ask you is, why should I hire you instead of another TC? They want to see your unique value. So don't be intimidated, okay? They're just giving you an opportunity for you to sell yourself. So many TCs phrase and say, well, because I work hard or because I'm detail-oriented. Those answers are generic and very forgettable. So a better approach is for you to highlight your differentiator and tie it to results. And of course, everyone will bring something different to the table. But I still give you an example. You can say every TC has their own style. For me, it's about clear communication, quick responses, and proactive problem solving. My goal is for my agents to see me as a partner, not just paperwork support. So you have elevated yourself from a task doer to a partner, and you can adapt this answer depending, of course, on your strength, whether that's systems, speed, client care. As I said, everyone will bring something different to the table. Well, another question might be, do you work alone or with a team? And the agents ask this question because they want to know if you can handle workload and whether their files will get attention or not. So the problem here is that new TCs sometimes apologize for being solo or try to downplay having help. And both approaches backfire. So in my opinion, a better way to handle is to own your structure and frame it as a benefit. So if you are doing solo TC, You can say, I work independently, which means you always know exactly who's handling your files. Nothing gets lost in handoffs. Well, if you actually have a team, you can say, well, I have additional support, which gives me the ability to manage multiple files at once without slowing anything down. So as you can see, both answers sound confident. Whether you are solo or not, you are showing the agent their files won't slip through the cracks. Now, another question might be, what happens if you make a mistake? Well, they ask that because they are worried about risk and they want to know how you protect them. So to me, a better approach is to be honest about prevention and show that you have safeguards. So you can say something like, well, I have systems in place for cross-checking and audits that prevent issues before they become problems. So you are positioning yourself as thorough and responsible, and that builds trust instantly. Now, another question might be, have you worked with my brokerage before? And of course, they ask because familiarity makes them feel safe. They want to know if you will be able to adapt quickly. So the problem I see is that if you say no and stop there, it sounds like inexperience. A better approach will be to reframe it into adaptability and initiative. So your answer can be something like, not yet, but I always review brokerage policies before starting so everything aligns with compliance. And by the way, what compliance systems that your office use? Many brokerages use similar platforms and I may already be familiar with it. So you have taken a potential negative and turned it into proactive curiosity. Now you sound adaptable and not inexperienced. And another question might be, what makes you qualify without a real estate background? And the agents want reassurance that you can handle the specific demands of real estate. Now, the problem is that if you apologize for not having real estate background, you diminish yourself. So of course, a better approach is always to emphasize your transferable skills, okay? So for example, an answer could be, well, my previous roles gave me the core skills that agents need the most, like organization, communication, managing deadlines. And real estate has its own language, but systems and reliability are universal. So that's what I bring to every transaction. So you have reframed the lack of real estate background into an asset. You are showing you already have the qualities they value most. Another question might be, what if you get sick or go on vacation during a transaction? And that is a very valid question. They need reassurance that their deal won't collapse if you're unavailable. So you can say something like, I plan my workload so that I never take on more than I can handle. If I step away, I ensure every file is updated and backup support is in place so your transaction doesn't miss a bit. So you have shown responsibility and a contingency plan. And that creates confidence before they even hire you. So I hope that you can see a pattern in here, because these answers are actually, tackling three different things. First, it acknowledges the agent's concern without being defensive. It redirects the focus to your systems, to the outcomes, to the professionalism that you bring, and it positions you as the leader of the conversation, not someone scrambling for approval. And that, for me, is kind of a little bit of a formula for overcoming imposter syndrome. Preparation creates confidence, and confidence builds trust. And trust gets you clients. Because remember, overcoming the imposter syndrome isn't about waiting until you close 100 transactions or collecting the best reviews and testimonials ever. It's about showing up with confidence today by preparing answers to the questions you fear the most. And this is how you look in control when someone corners you with a question. Now, these are not the only things that could make you look like a rookie. To avoid rookie mistakes, click this video right here.